What's up, Lakers Nation? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your ultimate source for everything purple and gold. I'm bringing you the latest updates, insider perspectives, and deep analysis on our Los Angeles Lakers. Today, I've got something that's going to shake up everything you thought you knew about this team's direction, and I need you to stay with me through every single word, because what we're about to discuss could fundamentally alter the landscape of Lakers basketball as we know it. So let me start by saying this. The 2025-26 season has been nothing short of extraordinary for the Lakers. We're sitting at 15-4, Lakers faithful, 15 wins and only 4 losses. That's the kind of record that puts you in championship conversation, that gets national media talking, that makes opposing teams circle your games on their calendar. This is the Lakers basketball we've all been waiting for, the kind of dominance that reminds everyone why this franchise has 17 championships hanging in the rafters at Crypto.com Arena. But here's the thing that's been eating at me, and I know it's been on your minds too. How did we get here? And more importantly, what does the path forward actually look like? Before we dive into the deep end, I want to take you back to February of this year. Remember that day? I sure do. It was one of those moments that stops you in your tracks, makes you question everything you thought you knew about basketball. The Lakers made a move that absolutely nobody saw coming, a trade so bold and so unexpected that it sent shockwaves throughout the entire NBA. Anthony Davis, our dominant big man, the guy who helped deliver championship number 17 to Los Angeles, was traded to the Dallas Mavericks, and in return, we got Luka Donic. Yeah, that Luka Donic. The 26-year-old Slovenian superstar who's been terrorizing the league for years, an MVP candidate, one of the most skilled players we've ever seen step onto a basketball court. When that trade went down, Lakers Nation was split right down the middle. Some people were celebrating, calling it a genius move that would set us up for the next decade. Others were devastated, feeling like we'd given up too much, that we'd betrayed the trust of a player who bled purple and gold. The debates were heated, the emotions were raw, and honestly, nobody really knew what to expect. But now, nearly a full season into the Luka Donic era in Los Angeles, we're starting to see the vision come into focus. And folks, it's a beautiful picture. Luka has been everything we could have hoped for, and more. He's averaging elite numbers, he's making everyone around him better, and most importantly, he's winning games. The chemistry between Doncic and Austin Reaves has been one of the most pleasant surprises of this entire season. Reaves, who many people thought had already hit his ceiling, has absolutely exploded as the 2025-26 season's most surprising breakout star. The kid is balling at a level that has people mentioning his name in all-star conversations. That backcourt duo of Doncic and Reaves is giving opposing defenses absolute nightmares, and it's been incredible to watch them develop that connection on the court. But here's where things get complicated, and this is the part that's been causing serious discussion among analysts, fans, and apparently even within the organization itself. For the first time in his 2-decade-long career, LeBron James is not the main man of the franchise he's part of. Let that sink in for a moment. 20 years of being the undisputed alpha, the guy that everything runs through, the face of whatever franchise he's representing. And now at age 41, LeBron finds himself in unfamiliar territory. He's no longer the centerpiece of the Lakers' plans, and that reality is something we all need to come to terms with. Now, before anyone starts thinking I'm disrespecting the king, let me be absolutely clear about something. LeBron James can still play basketball at an extremely high level. Even dealing with sciatica issues in his left leg, even at 41 years old, LeBron is still capable of averaging over 20 points per game. The man is a living legend, a future first-ballot Hall of Famer, arguably the greatest player to ever touch a basketball. His basketball IQ is off the charts, his court vision remains elite, and his ability to impact winning is still very real. When he's on the court, good things happen. We saw early in the season that the Lakers could win without him, but we've also seen that when he plays alongside Doncic and Reeves, this team reaches another level entirely. The issue isn't about LeBron's ability to play. It's about the business of basketball, the cold, hard reality of building a championship contender for the long term. And this is where things get really interesting, because prominent voices in the basketball world are starting to say out loud what many people have been thinking privately. Stephen A. Smith, one of the most influential analysts in sports media, recently made some waves with his comments about LeBron's future with the Lakers. Now Smith and LeBron have had their differences over the years, so you might think this is just more drama. But when you actually listen to what Smith is saying, it's not about disrespect or personal beef. It's about the reality of professional sports and the difficult decisions that organizations have to make. Smith stated plainly that if the Lakers had a choice, they would trade LeBron James. Not because he can't play, not because he's washed up or ineffective, but purely because of his age and because the franchise now has Luka Donic as their future. Smith emphasized that Luka is 26 years old, in his absolute prime, and represents the next decade plus of Lakers basketball. Meanwhile, LeBron is 41 and, realistically, nearing the end of his playing career. From a purely strategic standpoint, the argument makes sense. You build around your young superstar, you give him the keys to the kingdom, and you construct a roster that maximizes his prime years. This is the harsh reality of professional sports, folks. It's not always about loyalty or sentimentality. It's about winning championships and setting your franchise up for sustained success. The Lakers have been in this position before, having to make difficult decisions about aging legends. It's never easy, it's never clean, and it always leaves some people feeling hurt or betrayed. But championship organizations make tough calls, and right now, the Lakers are faced with one of the toughest decisions in franchise history. Let's talk about what LeBron's role has become this season. He's been sitting out games for load management, resting that troublesome left leg, and the expectation is that he'll continue to sit out many more games as the season progresses. This isn't the LeBron we're used to seeing, the guy who played every single game and carried teams on his back for entire seasons. This is a veteran managing his body, picking his spots, understanding that at his age, rest is just as important as playing time. And here's the thing, the Lakers have been thriving even when he sits. That 15-4 record isn't just because of LeBron, it's because this team has found an identity that doesn't revolve around any single player. Austin Reeves deserves so much credit for what he's done this season. This kid has stepped up in ways that nobody could have predicted. He's not just a role player anymore. He's a legitimate co-star next to Luka Donic. The confidence he's playing with, the shots he's making, the playmaking he's providing, it's all been exceptional. Reeves has proven that he belongs in the conversation with the best guards in the Western Conference, and his emergence has given the Lakers incredible flexibility in how they construct their roster moving forward. Having a homegrown talent develop into a star is exactly what championship teams need, and Reeves represents that hope for sustained excellence. So where does this leave LeBron James? That's the million-dollar question that everyone wants answered. Does he finish his career in Los Angeles, riding off into the sunset with the franchise he helped deliver a championship to? Does he get traded to a contender looking for that final piece to push them over the top? Does he potentially even retire sooner than expected if he feels like his role has diminished too much? These are all legitimate possibilities, and honestly, I don't think anyone knows the answer right now, including LeBron himself. What I do know is this: LeBron James has earned the right to control his own destiny. He's given this league everything for 20 years. He's delivered championships to 3 different franchises. He's been the face of the NBA for nearly 2 decades. Whatever decision he makes about his future, whether that's staying in Los Angeles, requesting a trade, or hanging up his sneakers, it should be respected. The man doesn't owe anyone anything at this point. He's cemented his legacy as one of the all-time greats, and how he chooses to end his career is entirely up to him. From the Lakers' perspective, I understand the logic of building around Luka Donic. He's a generational talent, a player who can be the centerpiece of championship teams for the next decade. The trade that brought him to Los Angeles was bold, it was risky, and so far it's paying off in a major way. Doncic is the face of this franchise now, and that's not going to change regardless of what happens with LeBron. The purple and gold faithful have embraced Luka, and rightfully so. He's everything you want in a franchise player: skilled, competitive, clutch, and most importantly, he's winning games. But let's also acknowledge what LeBron still brings to this team. His leadership, his experience, his basketball IQ, these are invaluable assets that you can't just replace. Having LeBron on your roster, even in a reduced role, makes your team better. He can mentor younger players, he can provide stability in crucial moments, and he can still deliver performances that remind everyone why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. If the Lakers can find a way to keep LeBron in a role that makes sense for everyone involved, that could be the ideal scenario. But if that's not possible, if the fit just isn't there anymore, then maybe a parting of ways is what's best for both sides. I want to be optimistic about where this franchise is headed because, honestly, there's so much to be excited about. We're winning games at an elite level. We've got a superstar in his prime running the show. We've got a breakout star in Austin Reeves who's exceeding all expectations. And we've still got the greatest player of this generation on our roster. That's a pretty good position to be in, Lakers Nation. Yes, there are difficult decisions ahead. Yes, there are questions that need to be answered about roles and futures and long-term planning. But these are the kinds of problems that successful teams deal with. I'd much rather be having these conversations while sitting at 15-4 than struggling to make the playoffs. The reality is that the NBA is a business, and sometimes business decisions have to be made that don't feel good emotionally. If the Lakers decide that trading LeBron is the best move for the franchise's future, it won't be because they don't appreciate what he's done or because they think he can't play anymore. It'll be because they're committed to building around Luka Donic and maximizing the championship window that comes with having a 26-year-old superstar. That's not disrespectful, that's just smart basketball operations. Here's my take on the whole situation. I think LeBron James has maybe 1 or 2 more seasons left in him, and he's going to want to spend those years in a situation where he feels valued and where he has a legitimate chance to compete for another championship. If that's with the Lakers, fantastic. If that's somewhere else, I'll understand, and I'll wish him nothing but the best. What I don't want to see is a messy divorce, a situation where there's bitterness or resentment on either side. LeBron deserves better than that, and so do the Lakers. Whatever happens, it should be handled with class and mutual respect. Looking at the bigger picture, the Lakers are in an incredible position moving forward. Luka Donic is a franchise cornerstone, the kind of player you build dynasties around. Austin Reeves has emerged as a legitimate star who can be the perfect complement to Luka's game. The supporting cast has been solid, the coaching has been effective, and most importantly, the team is winning. That's what matters most. Championships are the goal, and right now, the Lakers look like a team that can compete for one. Whether that happens with LeBron on the roster or not remains to be seen, but the foundation is there for sustained success. I'm genuinely excited about the future of Lakers basketball. Yes, we're in a transition period. Yes, there are difficult conversations happening behind closed doors. But transition periods are part of sports, and how you navigate them determines whether you remain a championship contender or fall into mediocrity. The Lakers have made bold moves, they've taken calculated risks, and so far, those decisions are paying off. I trust that this organization will continue to make smart decisions that position us for long-term success, even if those decisions are difficult or unpopular in the moment. So here's what I think is going to happen, and this is purely my speculation based on everything we're seeing. I think LeBron finishes this season with the Lakers, continues to play a complementary role alongside Luka and Reeves, and helps this team make a deep playoff run. Then, in the off-season, there will be serious conversations about what comes next. Maybe LeBron decides he wants one more shot at a championship with a different team. Maybe he decides to retire on his own terms. Maybe he and the Lakers figure out a way to make it work for another season. But I don't think the current situation is sustainable long-term, and I think everyone involved understands that. The most important thing for Lakers fans to remember is that change is inevitable in professional sports. Players age, rosters turn over, new stars emerge, and franchises evolve. What matters is that the Lakers remain committed to excellence, that they continue making moves designed to compete for championships, and that they honor the legacy of the players who have worn the purple and gold. LeBron James will always be a Lakers champion, regardless of how his tenure with the team ends. That's something nobody can ever take away from him or from us as fans. All right, Lakers Nation, I want to hear from you on this one. Do you think the Lakers should trade LeBron James while he still has value, or should they let him finish his career in Los Angeles regardless of his role? Do you believe this team can win a championship with the current roster construction? How do you feel about Luka Donic being the face of the franchise now? And most importantly, what do you think LeBron's legacy with the Lakers will be when it's all said and done? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely want to know where Lakers Nation stands on this critical moment in franchise history. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to stay connected with all the latest Lakers news, analysis, and insider information, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Share this video with your fellow Lakers fans because these are the conversations that define our fandom. I'll be back very soon with more exclusive content, breaking news, and in-depth analysis on everything Los Angeles Lakers. Let's go get this championship. Lakers Nation. Purple and gold. Forever.